said, hope everybody's doing well, staying safe, staying healthy. Thanks for all your concern and your comments and prayers for my back. I am basically 3 days away from having completed the regimen of antibiotics. And so now we are ready to go. The market is it's a stock picker's market. That's the bottom line. That's what we want to keep in mind as we move forward. So get this recording started. And so let's get ready to rumble. So good morning, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn, or good afternoon, depending on where you're at. This is Dennis Wilborn, founder of Active Trend Trading. Welcome to How to Make Money Trading Stocks, our weekly live streaming webinar, our Zoom meeting that we do. I'm just really, glad to see everybody's here. We've got Steve joining us from down close to Manoa. And good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Dennis.
And Steve's going to do a little bit of an explanation today about why he's not in a hurry to jump back into this market. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I am basically I'm choosing my opportunities very carefully and also keeping exceptionally tight stops so that just in case it goes against me, I will basically be able to get out and protect. It's, this is a market where you want to protect your gains. You want to also protect your capital. I mean, that's what the bottom line comes down to. And so, hey, everybody else who's joining on. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Barbara, nice to see you made it. And so let's jump into today's session. Remember that what we do is for training purposes. And here's where we're sitting. I'm darn pleased with how well we've been doing with the total active trend trading systems, the two strategies that we've been trading for the year. We've been, like I said, we've been very selective. We've implemented the top 5 AutoPilot trading system. And I know that many of you have been jumping on board with that and doing exceptionally well. And we want to continue to do that as we move forward. So how are we sitting? Basically, we're up 51% compared to the S&P. The S&P selling off a little bit. Dow back into the negative numbers. Russell back into more negative numbers. NASDAQ still holding strong. When we take a look at the charts for NASDAQ, you'll see, yeah, there's a noticeable difference in that the sell-off has not been as large as what we've seen in the other indexes. And so we'll jump in and take a look at that. I want to remind everybody that, just don't survive, thrive in any market. Our objective, of course, every week is to provide traders with top-notch market analysis, which is providing timely, actionable intel so they can clarify, simplify trading decisions so they can multiply and minimize their risk. That remains the motto, my motto specifically, because I love it when people and members make money basically in their trades. I mean, it just absolutely, that makes my day. I mean, I want folks to be, I wanted to be successful. And so I try to do everything in our power to enable you to, the only thing I can't do is place the trades for you. And again, we make no recommendations, but we just say, hey, here's what we're doing. So the overall market, it continues to be a stock picker's market, the market with quick turns. And so what I'm doing basically is just anticipating some really quick, and I've adjusted my expectations. I'm expecting some really quick profits and small losses. And so where earlier in the year, or when we were trending after March really strongly, we would get 10, 15, 20% gains. I've adjusted that to the kind of sideways market that we're doing right now. And so if I can get a, sometimes a 3 to 5 to 7% gain, I'm going to take that profit, book it, and then book that profit so that my compounding can continue to happen throughout the year. So Steve's got a stock he's going to show us. And then again, hey, if you don't have a trade journal, go over to in the link that you'll see in the YouTube channel. There is a link that provides you access believe it or not, the trading journal that we stood up, that my son put together, Brandon, is one of the top selling trade journals on Amazon. Really proud of what Brandon has been able to do and done with that. So the link's in the description. And remember, you've been given the keys. Now learn to open the door. Let's get in and look at the charts. That's what we came for. So here we go. Let's get going with the S&P, the spiders. We've got kind of a mixed market here. Now, when I say what do I mean by mixed? I've got conflicting data. We basically have pulled back from the high. We pulled back a little bit over 10%. We found support, as you can see, and we did a darn good job. You know, it went right down to almost the penny of where this support was. Anytime you see a bounce like this, remember, what do? We look to the left and we see, past support. That's basically where things broke out from earlier in the year. This would be in the July timeframe. Look at it on the weekly chart. Stop, basically going down, pop back up, and went on for a nice little run in the July timeframe. We participated in a lot of this move right here in the stocks that we've chosen. Secondly, what's mixed about this? We've got the daily charts saying, hey, I want to reverse. I want to reverse the momentum out of here and get going. We have a slight tick up on the market forecast momentum. This is the intermediate momentum, which is a positive sign. We have a, believe it or not, while we're getting the bounce off support, we do not have a candlestick reversal pattern per se. One of the things that's very interesting is this hammer right here. While it was breached to the downside, it was an indication. Whenever you're getting, moves like this to the downside, it was an indication that buyers wanted to come in and start pushing things up. So it was identifying, well, let me grab this. It was identifying this level, potential level of support where we've in fact found support on the S&P. While we're getting these positive signs on the daily charts, the weekly charts, momentum is still pointing down. So it may take a little bit of, hammering out a bottom here at about this level. And what do I expect? And here's where the expectations you need to be aware of. If this, in fact, is an important low, where do we expect it to go? Well, one, from this side up to the downtrending line, or a little bit further, maybe up to the 20-day moving average between the 50 and the 20 would be the next potential area to go. Am I going to buy today's movement? No, I'm not, because I don't have a really strong signal. So that's what we're looking at the S&P. It is starting to move up, but again, all these moving average, they're stacked, beginning to continue to be stacked to the downside. And so they will form a level of resistance as prices rebound back into it. Now, look at that. And then I want to jump over to the Russell really quick. And as you can see with the Russell is actually showing us a very interesting pattern. Now, it fell down, dropped down to a lower level of support, as you can see. But it too is starting to bounce back up. Here's a great indication. If you are using the, the daily TSI, and you want some confirmation for things going back up, you can draw in your patterns here on the, just a second. You can draw in your patterns here on the TSI, and as you can see, we've got a downtrending line. TSI is starting to break back up, still have, at odds with what's going on the weekly chart. But oftentimes what can happen is the price, as price action moves back up, let's say moves back up towards, moves back up towards the, the 38.2 retracement in between the 8 and the 20.
So we splashed down, and now
Hi, could you make sure that you're muted, please?
we're holding this weekly trend line, and
Thank you.
Sorry, Dennis.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So basically, just to move back up into these areas, you know, the 50-day moving average has started to tweak over. And so what may happen is you get a move back up on TSI, up to the downtrend line, and then roll back over one more time. Or if it breaks out above it, that's a really strong indication that, the longer term trend is now turning. We want to start looking for stronger and and longer trades to the upside, and we'll start risking more capital to be able to get into trades. So that's what we're looking at IWM. Now let's take a look real quick at the Qs representing the NASDAQ, and as you can see, it is reflective of a much a much stronger stronger chart. Let me get rid of this. See, it didn't even come close. Both the S&P and the Russell got all the way down to almost a 100%, either 786 or 100% retracement that basically fit this move from here to here. Didn't even come close with the Qs. Let me remove that. And there we go. And so as we see, we're getting a nice start of a rebound here. On this particular one, we're getting an excellent, let's see. Yeah, we're getting TSI and market forecast turning up. Slight turn up on the TSI on the weekly chart. Hasn't totally done that yet. And we are getting what may be a piercing line, which is a bullish reversal signal on the weekly chart. And so the NASDAQ may continue to lead, although normally what we expect is for the Russell to actually provide us our biggest performers going into the end of the year. We have a little bit less than a week left before we go into October. And actually the weakness in September has been fairly well contained. Now, what are some of the other drivers with the market? We saw a big, little bit of a sell-off this week because of the coronavirus. We know we have a lot of issues going on with the election, a lot of consternation, concern regarding the election, coming up in November. And so, who knows? October just may be a flat month. We'll see. But ultimately, what we want to do, trade the chart that's in front of you. And remember that it is a stock picker's market. So talking about stock picking, Steve, I'm going to put up this stock. You tell me what you want to do with this.
Okay, ESTC. It's a selection out of the IBD 250, the MarketSmith 250.
Okay.
And it's looking fairly good. It's been in a trend, and as you can see on the daily chart left, or is that weekly?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on the right hand side is the daily, and the left hand side is the weekly.
Yeah. So it's been a nice, on the weekly, you see it's been in a nice strong trend, and right now we're pulling back to the shorter term moving averages, holding above the 50. I think it's a nice timing wise. I think today is a nice bullish engulfing pattern. One of the basic go-to reversal patterns I like to rely on. So I think we're setting up for a buy either the end of the day, sometime today, or possibly next week. But I would caution. I would suggest some caution in taking the trade. Right now, basically, all I'm doing is managing any positions I have open, and I am not taking new trades until the market gives me a better clue as to its next direction. I certainly believe it's going to be bullish, and we resume the bullish trend. I feel strongly about that, but it has not yet done so. It's really technically in downtrends, with all of the indices are making lower highs and lower lows. And until we break that pattern, I don't really want to establish new trades. So I have this as a trade, but if you're gonna take it, I'd suggest a small position, maybe a quarter, a half at max,
I like that.
normal size. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's one of the things I'm doing with our active trend trading premium members and also the top 5 autopilot traders. I'm here for almost the full month of September, Steve. We've been doing half positions.
I agree. I agree. I
Yeah.
didn't start off that way. I took some positions early in November, September, but I regret taking them. I wish and then I've since moved to a half position sizing.
Yeah, yeah. And so,
Earlier.
I mean, fortunately, yeah, we're nice and profitable, and we're still profitable. But as you can see, if you'll remember what the profit and loss chart looked like, the month of September has just got a lower slope to it. I mean, it just sloped off. So, so Steve, how will you manage this particular? What's your trigger to get into on this particular?
Well, if you're going to enter today, I would enter near the close today, because as long as this bullish engulfing pattern does not morph, does not change.
Okay.
If it closes on the high end of today's bar, it could be an entry or a trade above today's high sometime next week.
Okay. Okay.
Stop right under today's low, the pivot.
Roger that.
The last 2 bars.
Yeah.
Very
And
tight
just to
stop.
let everybody know that from today's current high to its current low, okay, this is a nice big move, but it's about a 4.6% move. And so if you're utilizing the 5% rule to exit your trades, yeah, you want it really tight below today's low. And so excellent. Yeah, I like this particular trade. I like this particular setup, Steve. You had a hammer yesterday, almost a dragonfly doji type of a reversal pattern right off the 34-day moving average. Now you're getting covered by a bullish engulfing, and so awesome. I like it.
I also like the very low volume we're seeing the last 2 days. Actually,
okay.
I like when volume quiets down, and then if we break out and volume increases, it'll be very bullish.
And so, okay, excellent. Yeah, Barry. Yeah, Barry. Normally, I don't throw the fibs up on these because my, but I'm going to go ahead and, well, I normally don't do that, but I'll just throw. There's a couple ways you can do the fibs on this. I can take from the earlier high-low from here down to here. And as you can see, price, this is interesting. Price actually got right up to the top of the magic fib box, bounced back down to the low below the bottom, the 38% retracement, and now is rebounding back up through. So I would say, like I agree with Steve, you could, if you're a breakout guy, trader, you can take today's trade. I kind of like my trades. My setup happens to be back down around the 820 or somewhere in between that. And so that's what I would be looking at, if I was going to get into a trade on this, somewhere about 104 level. And you never know. I mean, you just lay that out there. It's like, I don't know if you've ever fished and laid out a trot line, but it's basically you lay your hook out there, and it either gets picked up or not. And if this goes on to be a big winner, then
Celebrating a little early, huh?
Oh, come on. Great. Now what that was is, oh, cool. Now was taking off. A trade that we've got on, getting really close to hitting our profit target on that. But
Dennis, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
You referred to something you call the 820. What did you mean?
Well, I mean the 820, the
moving averages, the moving averages. Okay.
Yeah. And basically a lot of times, if I'm not using my intraday charts, Steve, I'll just run back and I'll say, okay, price action may pull back to halfway in between or approximately. Sure. So if I'm looking for an estimate of where to place my my trigger
Yeah,
to enter the trade, I'll basically base it about halfway between the two.
yeah, I got it, and I agree with that. Yeah, it's a
And
good technique.
yeah, and so sometimes I get filled. I would have to say, I would actually have to say the majority of the time I get actually filled on it. But that's where the institutions tend to want to support prices. And so what are we looking at for the upside from here? Let me get rid of this. Move. So, a couple of things, what we can do, if it goes from here, let's just take it from the current price, and then we'll bounce on to the rest of today's session is from today's high, and it may basically just go there up to, you're looking about, if it gets all the way back up to the past high, you're looking at about a 10% move, which is good, which is $10.75, which that's dynamite. Now it may not make it all the way up there, but still it's looking pretty good. So great pick, Steve. I
Thank
like
you.
it. So let's go ahead and just
Hope it
finish.
works.
Say it again.
Let's just hope it works.
Yeah. And so, okay, let's run over and complete today's session. Where is there it is. And so, okay, just finishing off, again, if you do have any questions or anything like that about what's going on with the active trend trading system on hand, just drop me an email. I shot out my email to everybody a little bit earlier. It's dww@activetrendtrading.com. We've got some really, special stuff going on over the next little bit. So my question for today is, will the indexes finish the year with a gain? You can just answer yes or no down in the chat box. I'd appreciate that. Do you think the market is going to finish with a gain? We've got mixed market. We've got the Dow and the Russell down, and we've got basically the NASDAQ and the S&P up, with the NASDAQ being the big leader. And so if you're joining us on YouTube, please basically subscribe, hit the bell. If you haven't joined us over on YouTube, go on over to Market Tech Talk, join, because I post other really good videos there on training sessions. And so go on over there and hit it. Again, give us a big like and hit the bell, and that way you will be reminded of all of the other whenever we post new information. Really pleased with the Power Rank Elite Top 5 Autopilot Trading System. In fact, we're so pleased with it. What we're going to be doing is we're going to basically have an autopilot trading challenge, and it's going to run from the September 30th. It's 14 days of interaction with other members. There's a private Facebook page that's going to be included on this, and it's going to help you understand how to better trade the top 5 autopilot trades. And so if you're interested in this, basically there will be a link down in the description that'll tell you exactly how to join. It's really an excellent 14 days of hands-on, and it's also to help you build your routine so you can grow your wealth like you're on autopilot. And again, there's a little bit to do every day with it. And I will be checking in to make sure, see how people are doing, and also working with you to basically set up your system and set up your program. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. And if you're a member, either way, a member, free member, or a top 5 or premium member, you should have gotten some emails just saying, hey, this is what's going on. It's something you really don't want to miss if you're interested in basically just doing better in the market. So, hey, I'm going to basically now say aloha from our home to yours. Aloha, trade well and prosper. Keep sharpening the saw. When the market's going sideways or we're showing some weakness, just keep sharpening your saw so that you're ready when the market does in fact turn around. So, Steve, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today, and again, providing a great choice for the stock that you're looking at, and also a good reason for how you're also going to protect yourself to the downside just in case things go sideways. So Steve, aloha, God bless, my friend.
You too. Thank you. You also.
Okay, good day, everybody.